Two historic offenses collide this weekend under the bright lights on the West Coast. The Bruin Bombers and the UCF Knights. If you dig the long ball, you came to the right spot. It's David versus Goliath for a trip to the Women's College World Series. You are watching the NCAA Super Regional presented by Capital One on a gorgeous Friday night from Los Angeles. UCF making the long trip from Orlando, Florida, where they upset FSU. One of three unranked teams still in it for a trip to the Women's College World Series, taking on one of the giants of the sport, UCLA. All of these teams still fighting for a chance to make it to Oklahoma City, where UCF has never been, but where the Bruins have been 33 times before. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside the Hall of Famer Kenzie Fowler with you. So glad to be bringing you this matchup from LA. And Kenzie, this is a matchup that many across the country did not expect. FSU was presumed to be the one taking on UCLA. Instead, it's UCF. Two great offenses.
The offenses have got both of these teams here. And yes, it's an offensive year. We've seen the scores today. They are off the charts. And both of these teams have swung their way here to a Super Regional. They're going to have to swing their way out of it to get to OKC.
UCLA's been swinging their way through their opponents all season long. 28 run rule victories. We saw one of them in the regional final.
This is the nation's leader in home runs. They have swung 193 long balls. And you think about the program and the storied history that comes with UCLA, they smashed their own program record. So that's something to be said for itself. 8 players with double-digit home runs. Of course, the highlight is Megan Grant hitting that 40th last week. But my goodness, this team brings the offense.
UCF's mantra has been, we aren't supposed to be here. Their run to their second ever Super Regional began with a comeback victory against Jacksonville State in the opening round. Then they hammered Stetson in the winner's bracket. Yes, you heard that right. Stetson and UCF in the winner's bracket. Then in Game 7 against home, nationally ranked FSU, they pulled off something that had never been done before in program history, beating the Seminoles in the NCAA tournament. And now they've got a date with UCLA. One of these two teams is punching their ticket to Oklahoma City. Game 1 from UCLA is next.
It's a deep question, a lot. What she means, a lot. And she has a lot of fight, she has a lot of guts, and she will definitely go down in history as one of my most impactful pitchers, and I love her to death. So I'm just going to say
Coach I talking about Taylor Tinsley and what she has meant to this program, throwing over 200 innings coming into the Super Regional. She started all 3 games of their regional right here on this field a weekend ago. She starts Game 1 tonight of Super Regionals against the UCF Knights. As we take a look at the Capital One starting lineup for the UCF Knights, it's a team that, like UCLA, has had a historic season offensively. top 5 in the Big 12 in triples, homers, stolen bases. And they are highlighted by Sierra Humphreys, who is having a career year, one of 6 all-conference players for UCF this season.
I know we talk a lot about the records that UCLA is breaking this season, and we're going to talk about them a lot more, but UCF is having a career offensively, breaking their own program record with 71 home runs this season. It's the way that they were able to get out of that Tallahassee regional with some clutch pitching, clutch hitting, and they had to go the distance going to Game 7, so this is a team that brings the offense.
Taylor Tinsley has 30 wins this year, Kenzie. She's top 5 in the country in wins, innings pitched, complete games. You name it, she's done it for this program this year.
Well, the All-American, the senior, she's going to pitch a lot, if not every single pitch in the Super Regional. She pitched 280 pitches in the regionals, and she's going to bring it up, she's going to bring it down. But the best pitch, in my opinion, as of late, has been that changeup. She's going to have to need to mix it up a lot against a UCF lineup that she will see time and time again.
Aubrey Evans leads it off for UCF. Redshirt senior from Apopka, Florida. Looks at a strike called by our home plate umpire, Megan Raven. Evans, a 3-time all-conference player, been a captain, beloved by this roster. That returns so much from last year, a team that fell short in the regional.
That rise ball from Tinsley, that's her strikeout pitch. So how is she going to set up that rise ball? She can set it up with a drop ball, a curve ball, a changeup. But when she gets those big swings and misses, it's on that rise ball.
Good eye from Evans, leveling the count at 2 apiece. In UCF's 4 regional games, they hit 280 and scored 17 runs. They have the ability to be explosive.
Big swingers, and you see it right there. That's a 2-strike swing, but Aubrey Evans, the senior, trying to start this game with a little bit of oomph to it. That's a big swing with 2 strikes.
Tinsley's 2-2. They are unashamed to say it, Kenzie, that, quote, we aren't supposed to be here. And so there's a level of, why not us? We have nothing to lose. UCLA has everything to lose in their mind.
And it was a very loose bunch before the game. You and I got to the field about 2 hours prior to this, and there's a lot of dancing down on the sidelines, and the music was bumping, and you could just tell UCF was definitely trying to effort to keep that lightness that they carried through the Tallahassee Regional and carry that here all the way from Florida to California. I mean, that's a long trip. Can't lose that momentum.
Evans lines the payoff into the mid of Alina Garcia, 1 down.
That's a great at-bat. It's exactly what we want out of your senior, to see a lot of pitches, make the senior in the circle work. And look, this is going to be part of the strategy for UCF. They know that UCLA is kind of the one horse in the circle, right? If they want to get out of this Super Regional, punch their ticket to the first ever Women's College World Series, they are going to have to find a way to beat Taylor Tinsley. And so a strategy I would absolutely be talking about is long at-bats. A lot of foul balls, taking a lot of pitches, get that pitch count high.
Kendall Yarnell right back to Tinsley, 2 down. It's something that Taylor Tinsley has worked on this year, Kenzie. In fact, you could say she's sacrificed some of those strikeout numbers that people expected her to have this year to minimize long at-bats. extend her longevity into the postseason.
And that's a tough thing for a pitcher that has been a strikeout pitcher to learn to be comfortable pitching to contact.
Strike on the outside corner to Beth Damon. Has been on a tear in the month of May. 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. Tinsley looking for a 1-2-3 first. She and Alexis Ramirez, affectionately known as Lefty behind the plate, so in sync all year and throughout the postseason. They have a special bond with the amount of innings that those two have been battery mates for.
You can see Lefty, she's going to call the pitches right there. Has the pitch comm on her shin guard, punches what she wants to her senior.
Whoa, look what I found, says Tinsley. And a little bit of emotion from the senior starter. 1-2-3 for the UCLA ace. Bruin Bombers will come to the plate when we come back.
Call them the Bruin Bombers. Jordan Woolry started off with a bang! She's in sole possession of second single-season RBI. Update the record book! Megan Grant sending number 40 over the fence! What a moment. Holy moly. 40 home runs in a season. Nobody's ever done it.
Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery have lit the softball world on fire this year. Those two becoming the first teammates to hit 30-plus home runs in the same season in the history of this sport. And Jordan Woolery's 111 RBI not only lead the country, but rank second all-time in the history of UCLA. As we get a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. You mentioned it in the open, Kenzie. 8 different players hit homers last weekend in the regional. And now UCLA will take on a very interesting UCF staff. And it is a staff. They will start Ava Stewie tonight, which may have raised some eyebrows coming into game 1 of the Supers.
Well, it's no secret that UCF and head coach Cindy Ball-Malone is very comfortable using a full staff. The bullpen will be fully active, I expect, this whole game tomorrow. It is all hands on deck. And you just add to the fact that this is a freshman getting the biggest start in her career. probably the hardest thrower on the staff, mid to upper 60s. She's going to work up and down. The drop ball is so key, right? We've been talking about the home runs and the long balls for the Bruins. Well, how do you neutralize that? Something down in the strike zone.
Taking on one of the great leadoff hitters in the country this year, Riley Slimp. 3-0. Slimp taking all the way for a strike. Is lasered into the mid of a diving Aubrey Evans. One gone in the first.
Wow. That ball is smoked. Riley Slimp doing everything she needs to do in that leadoff spot, seeing a lot of pitches, and then gets a pitch that she wants to put a swing on. And this out is so important because now UCF can pitch to Megan Grant without somebody on base. And it's going to be those small of margins when you're pitching against Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery. As a pitcher, I need to make sure that I am facing these hitters with no one on base.
Which is rare. Riley Slimp leads the country in runs scored with 93. She has often found herself on base with Grant batting in the 2-hole, Woolery behind her. 1-0 count. Grant, the all-time single-season home run record holder. First player in the history of this game to reach the 40 home run mark in a single season. Has maintained an incredible level of patience this year. Knowing often she will not be pitched to, was walked 4 times in the same game against Cal Baptist.
Everything has been drop ball and then first look at the off speed from the freshman.
Still some more history for Grant to capture. She is 1 home run shy of tying the all-time UCLA career home run record held by Stacy Newman. Hitters count. And she draws a 1-out walk.
It's part of her game that I don't know if we talk about enough, her pitch selection. And being on base for her counterpart, Jordan Woolery. And it's why you see the RBI total for Jordan Woolery as high as it is. Megan Grant is either hitting home runs or drawing walks.
And she's now reached base safely in 18 consecutive games, leading the country with 69 free passes. Woolery bouncing ball to third, backhanded and thrown across the diamond by Coco Jaimes. 2 down, and Grant in scoring position.
A little surprised to see Jordan swing first pitch there, especially she's watching what Megan is doing in front of her, seeing a lot of balls. There was really only one pitch that was close to the heart of the plate.
In steps Elena Garcia. One hopped to short. Evans makes 2 excellent plays in the field in the first inning. And Stewie pitches around a 1-out walk. No blood after 1 in Los Angeles.
NCAA Softball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
What a night in Southern California. The backdrop for this Super Regional featuring David and Goliath. UCLA seeking their 34th trip to the Women's College World Series. That leads all programs against a program in UCF who has never been there before and is in just their 25th season playing college softball. Matt Schumacher, Kenzie Fowler with you all weekend long. Game one of this Super. UCF went 1-2-3 against Taylor Tinsley in the first inning. They lead it off in the second with their cleanup hitter, Izzy Mertes. Tinsley threw 15 pitches in the first inning. Worked a 9-pitch AB against Aubrey Evans. And I know it's early, Kenzie, but it seems like there's a theme already with UCF hitters.
Yeah, there's a lot of pitches being taken, and so for Tinsley, she's got to see that and feel that very quickly.
Good pitch there, 1-2.
She's got to have that off-speed pitch. And now it sets up the rise ball. See a lot of deep breaths from the senior.
First strikeout of the night for Tinsley, one gone.
Ooh, a little back-to-back. Love to see it, especially when you're feeling so confident in that pitch early in the game. Sometimes you'll hold this pitch, see if you need it, but why not just establish it right away? You can tell just completely fooled. I'm up here thinking rise ball perfectly, and you know what? Credit to the junior behind the plate. Alexis Ramirez calls one heck of a ball game.
One-0 to Sierra Humphreys. No, it's interesting. Tinsley, of course, as we mentioned, started all 3 games of the regional, was tagged in a big way against CBU in the opening round, gave up 9 earned runs. And part of it, Coach I told us, was that her rise wasn't as sharp. We didn't see the same drop from her rise to her drop ball as when she's really on. Early tonight, Kenzie, it seems like all of her stuff is working.
Yeah, I've seen a little curve. I've seen some drop ball, of course, the change.
In the air to right, playable for Megan Grant, 2 away.
Her drop ball is her most improved pitch. So when Taylor came into UCLA, she was kind of a one-dimensional, I'm a rise ball pitcher, throw hard. And, you know, you have some roster movement in the offseason, and you're looking at what is returning, and she's like, well, I'm probably going to have to pitch a lot. I need to shore up my drop ball. And so Taylor went to Coach Lisa Fernandez, of course the GOAT, and said, can you tweak this a little bit? I need a drop ball that I can throw anytime, anywhere. And I want you to coach me up, but I want you to coach me hard because I'm going to need this pitch. And she's thrown that drop ball a lot. And when you have pitches low in the zone, whether it's a drop ball, a changeup, it sets up what is her best pitch. It's that rise ball.
Strike one to Coco Jaimez, the starting third baseman for UCF. In the midst of their first 40-win season since 2023, their second Super Regional ever. The other in 2022. Hard hit to third, snared by Alejandre, and it's all across the diamond for another 1-2-3. 6 up, 6 down for Tinsley. That inning took just 10 pitches for the UCLA's. Perez trying to get back to the Women's College World Series for the 4th straight year. Has a bit of a younger team this season, just 4 seniors, but has told us all week long the leadership of those seniors has been elite. It has impressed her and her staff for a program that has won 50 games again this season. Finished 3rd in the Big Ten, lost to Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament championship game, and they've won 6 out of their last 7. They've done it in different ways, Kenzie. They've shown grit, resilience, and leadership in the biggest moments.
This is a coach that knows how to get it done in postseason. And yeah, it is a relatively young team. Of course, the headliners are the seniors because they're the superstars on the field of Megan Grant, Jordan Woolery, and Taylor Tinsley, but 10 newcomers. And you look at who's in this lineup, there's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. And so Coach Inoue Perez has had her hands full a little bit. She was frank with us when we talked to her yesterday about where this team was in the fall and where they are right now today. Completely different, just because of all the newness that they had to kind of grow into that culture.
Speaking of youngsters, Alejandre leading things off for UCLA here. One of the true freshmen that has had a historic season. Top 10 in the nation in runs batted in. And could have her 23rd homer. Indeed! 1-0 lead for UCLA. And the record freshman campaign continues for Bri Alejandre.
And this is what makes this team so special, is because we're going to be talking about Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery, but the rest of this lineup is dang good. And you want to talk about a freshman that plays big. Coach Inoue Perez says she has swag. And this is a really big swing. And the emotion that this freshman class brings to kind of fuel those seniors, it's why we're seeing the offensive year that this Bruin team is having. It has been 1 through 9. Anyone swinging big. Of course, the seniors are leading us, but freshmen with a huge statement here early.
Already has the single season UCLA freshman home run record. And has just tied the Big Ten freshman single season home run record. Tapper from Bragg back to the circle, 1 away. If this team keeps playing deep into May and early June, what records won't they touch?
I'm wondering if these records will be seen again. I'm really curious already what next year will bring, because this is the most offensive our sport has ever been. And of course, UCLA and Oklahoma are kind of leading the charge with those big numbers. It is just ridiculous.
Well, a few years ago in 2021, when Oklahoma broke all the NCAA single season program records, runs, homers, we thought then, will these ever be caught? And now UCLA and OU are going back and forth. They've already broken those 2021 records.
Well, the good news for UCF is that it was a solo shot. And we'll be talking about that a lot, because we're all watching the same games, even just today, how many home runs are being hit. You have to be so sharp as a pitcher to limit the free passes. It's the most important thing right now, because your team can do the same thing. Your team can also hit those solo shots.
2-1 count to Alexis Ramirez. Beth Damon, who's done such an excellent job handling a staff of 8 pitchers this year as just a sophomore. Brief visit to the rubber. Could see 5-6 arms realistically throughout this super regional this weekend for the Knights. Inside ball 3.
Think about this battery. You have a true freshman in the circle and a sophomore behind the plate. So we're talking about the youth for UCLA. Well, UCF is also very young. A couple of seniors that they start. But this is a big moment for this program, and they're going to lean on that youth.
Second out of the inning from Aubrey Evans. I mean, they are putting up video game-like numbers as individuals, as a team, and it's top to bottom in this order, 1 through 9. Nearly 11 runs per game. That would smash the current program record for runs per game by nearly 3 runs.
Honestly, what stands out the most to me on that chart is the walks. Leading the nation in home runs and walks. That is a very disciplined offense. I don't like that if I'm a pitcher. No, thank you. Honestly, don't even tell me that going into this series. I don't need to know that.
Sujin over to second base, a flip to first. Stewie retires the side after a solo bomb for Bri Alejandre, making more history.
This is the best home run hitting team that we're going to see in the Supers. And how about a freshman with the biggest swing of her young career? Bruins are on top.
Cindy Ball Malone in her 8th season as the head coach at UCF. 6 straight NCAA tournament appearances, has ushered this young program into the golden era of night softball. And for her, a return trip home. Grew up 30 minutes away from UCLA, adored this program. First softball game she ever attended as a little girl was UCLA and Arizona. And she was hooked ever since. 2 hopper to Garcia, handled easily off the bat of Griffin, 1 away.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk, of course, everyone wanting to know and ask Cindy, what's it like being back in California? You play so far on the other side of the country in Florida, and you think about a lot of these players are from, you know, this local part of Southern California. A lot of fans, a lot of family here in the stands. A lot of these players also play on the same high schools and travel teams, so you always have that familiarity because Southern California is such a hotbed of talent in our sport. And so you have to credit Coach Ball Malone to be able to go into California and say, these are my roots, I can recruit here, and I can get you all the way coast to coast to come play for me in Florida.
Out of the box was Zoe Calvez. She's saying that it was foul off her bat. We'll see here. It looks like Coach Ball Malone has asked Megan Rabin to get together with the rest of the umpires Jim Bertuzzi at first, John Baca at second, Anthony Small at third. Here's another look.
So
it's a double hit.
Double hit, and then where are your feet? And they ruled her out of the box. Yeah, she's coming out of the box there.
You think this stands?
Yeah.
Looks like a pretty...
Crossover's there, and then hitting. Yeah, her foot is already out. And it's not, you have to have one foot. If one foot is out of that box and crossing that chalk, you're out of the box. Both feet have to be in the box. So right here.
Ruling on the field stands, and it was a very brief
The call of the field is that the batter was out of the box when she was hit, so we have an out.
Love the clarity.
Same.
Thank you.
Swift and clear.
Well done.
Ball one to Samantha Ray, batting in the 9 spot.
This lineup is a little unique in the way that there are some small ballers at the bottom of this lineup, and 1 through 5, the heart. Those are the big hitters, those home run bats. So for Taylor Tinsley, for her seeing those lefties, it's going to be at the bottom of the lineup right here with Calvez and Ray.
One of the California natives with dozens of tickets out this weekend to family and friends. Cindy Ball Malone estimated there would be a few hundred Knights fans in attendance this weekend. Two-1 from Taylor Tinsley.
We talked to Izzy Murdez and Sierra Humphreys, both California natives. They were geeking out. They were so excited. Oh, my family's gonna be here. I'm expecting 20 to 25. Some of my friends will be here. Which is what it's all about.
Ray grew up about a 4.5-hour drive from the UCLA campus, played for the Bat Busters travel ball organization, played with and against some of the UCLA Bruins on the travel ball circuit. 3-2, right off the mitt of Tinsley, and the third time tonight she's fielded a ground ball. 9 up and 9 down for Tinsley. No base runners yet tonight for UCF, and a 9-pitch inning for the UCLA star.
Like the Women's College World Series.
Women's College World Series begins Thursday on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Both of these teams need 2 wins to reach Oklahoma City. And winning game 1 has proven over the course of time to be huge in getting to OKC. Nearly 80% of game 1 winners have advanced to the Women's College World Series. Cindy Ball-Malone's team has never been in the brief 25-year history of UCF softball. Played against Oklahoma back in 2022 in the Norman Super Regional. Failed to advance. And now just a couple of years later, trying to do it against the other giant of the sport. Hard hit by Jolena Lamar and fielded well in second base by Sierra Humphreys.
It just feels like UCF is one of those programs. It's just only a matter of time. They have been a constant in the last decade in the NCAA tournament. And it was so huge for this program to get out of a Tallahassee regional. Of course, their home state, they have the rivalry, beating Florida State for the first time in their postseason history to get to this moment. So I want to talk about all the foundational building blocks that you have to get to try and be in the same conversation as a program like UCLA. They're happening, and they're happening right before our very eyes.
Kendall Yarnell told us, we're building something. UCLA is protecting something. And you mentioned the first postseason win ever against FSU. It was the first win, period, against the Seminoles since 2011. And many of the UCF players all throughout the week since that win have received text message after text message from Knights alum.
Well, you think about, especially the era before seeding 1 through 32, it was so much of where if UCF is going to get into the NCAA tournament, well, where are they going to be sent? They're probably going to be sent to either Florida or Florida State. And so much of the Florida State versus UCF, that matchup ended so many careers for UCF. So it was very emotional. And you could feel that when we were talking to Coach Ball-Malone and her players. Like, we did it for our program. We did it for, of course, our coach, who has been leading us there, but we did it for the alums of the past.
Full count to Riley Slim. Lined out on an excellent play by Aubrey Evans at short. And her first at bat of the night. 30th pitch for Stewie. Off the glove at first of Ashley Griffin, and Slim will be safe at first. Well, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, May 28th, 12 Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the 2026 Women's College World Series, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Pat Schumacher, Kenzie Fowler with you. Megan Grant at the dish. Kenzie finished second at the 2010 Women's College World Series, falling to these Bruins, who, as you mentioned, have been there so often. It almost feels like old hat when they reach the Women's College World Series.
A proud member of the runner-up club. We meet on Wednesdays. Hey, there's enough of us out there. We should make a club for us that came in second. But yeah, it was against Coach Inoue Perez, and we talked about her last inning, and they put up the graphic that it was her 20th year, and that kind of like shook me for a second. 20 years? Because I remember being recruited by Sue Inquist, so I'm not very old at all, right? I'm just a couple of years old, over 25. So exactly, yes. So I just can't believe that, a snap of your fingers, and it's been 20 years. And Coach Inoue Perez, of course, is a longtime assistant for Coach Inquist, so she is the embodiment of UCLA softball. And just one of the most classy coaches. Anytime I get to cover her program, she always goes out of her way to say hello and check in. How is everything going? It's always so much fun to talk to her as well, because no one loves up her players like Kelly I. She also has the best ponytail in the game, just throwing that out there. Generational ponytail.
2-0 almost caught Megan Grant. And now a 3-0 count to one of the favorite players Kelly I has ever coached. Not just because of the performance, but because of how she has led others along the way. Back-to-back walks for Grant, and now 2 on and 1 down for Jordan Woolery, who leads the nation in runs batted in.
Well, Woolery swung at her first pitch in her last at-bat. I don't expect her to do that here. Same situation, hitter in front of her. Megan Grant takes a walk. She's going to get some pitches. Just love to her maybe be a little bit more patient. That point there to her senior. They are so connected. It almost feels like they are one hitter.
In the last 2 years, they've played just 1 game in which they did not hit side by side in the lineup. That happened last year, and immediately following that game, they went to Kelly I and said, "Coach, with all due respect, don't ever do that again." Woolery pops up the 0-1 out of play.
When we were talking to Jordan and Megan, I was congratulating them, and we both were on and getting drafted, and you guys are coming to an end here, and they were like, "Don't talk about it. We're not ready to be a part." Of course, this will be their last weekend here on their home field. But it's so much fun to just see them hit, talk to them. Their personalities are so different, but just superstars together.
They'll go from teammates to foes.
Yeah.
After June 9th, both drafted the AUSL, as you mentioned, but to different teams. 1-2 count to Woolery. 1-run lead for UCLA in the bottom of the 3rd. Woolery down the right field line. At home run distance, but about 10 feet foul.
You have to be really careful with Jordan on the outside part of the plate. She's one of the best, if not the best, right-handed hitters with oppo power. That ball was way off. See if that pitch maybe can set up something on the inner half, especially with a runner at second base. Try and feed the left side of your infield. That's where Stewie was able to get her in her last at-bat, ground out to third base.
Slimp at second, Grant at first. 1-2 pitch. In the air to center. Drifting in, Ray makes the catch. Both runners will stay put. 2 gone. That's a big out for Ava Stewie.
Well, and setting up the changeup and saving the changeup for 1 pitch and 1 look. Huge out.
Lena Garcia had some big at-bats in the regional last weekend. Redshirt freshman from Pico Rivera, California. Pair of homers, 5 runs batted in, including the game-winning sac fly against CBU in the opening round comeback victory for UCLA. Should she reach, Bria Alejandre awaits on deck. Hit a solo bomb last inning, which has been the difference in the game to this point. (2-0). Rolled to short. Evans fires across the diamond, and Ava Stewie strands 2. Keeps it a 1-run game. UCF squarely in striking distance. We will talk with Cindy Ball Malone when we return. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regional presented by Capital One. Gorgeous night in LA, a 1-0 lead for UCLA playing the UCF Knights, one of 3 unseeded teams left in the tournament. We're joined by Cindy Ball Malone. Coach, appreciate your time. You just brought your whole team over coming off the field that last half inning. What was your message to the Knights?
Yeah, I think we need to see swing freer. You know, we've got bats too, and so we got to get chippy like we normally are.
Cindy, I know this is your home state. You have some players that are from the state. You recruit here. What's it like to see so much support in the state that you're from?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Couldn't be like, you know, the best situation. Like, grew up watching these guys in this stadium, and then to be able to have our family here, it's just so awesome.
Coach, you got popcorn on your shoulder. I know it's not a chip, but you mentioned the chippiness. Your team gets it from you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go Knights.
It's a fun team. You talked about it, Kenzie. We had a chance to meet with them yesterday. There's just a fun vibe about this team, and they own the identity of being the chippy, scrappy underdog.
Yeah, the literal chip on the shoulder. Kind of interesting. That was popcorn. Haven't seen that one this season.
All the chips got eaten already.
But they're young, they're loose. And you heard from Coach Ball Malone that we need to swing more aggressive and a little bit more free. A little tight, pressing too much, not the way that they have gotten to this point. They played very free. Outside of the first game against Jacksonville State, it was very tight. This team was down to their last strike. Came back, and after getting out of that first game, it was just kind of like, okay, this is what we need to do. We got that first W. Now we just need to play our version and be our best version, and that's free and scrappy and aggressive.
They have yet to reach base tonight. Taylor Tinsley has been near perfect. 9 up, 9 down with a strikeout. Taking on Aubrey Evans here, top of the UCF order. Second time through for the Knights. Evans in the air to right. Could be trouble off the top of the wall. Ricochets off the glove of Grant, and a leadoff double for Aubrey Evans. There's your free swing.
And that's the captain, and she leads this UCF team through her play and through her energy, and that's why Cindy Ball Malone loves her in that leadoff spot, because she is a spark plug, the emotional and physical leader. And so now turning the lineup over for the second time, 5 straight hitters with double-digit home runs. You see the power there.
Time called by Megan Rabin behind home. Corner infield drawn in here for Kendall Yarnell. 11th double of the year for Evans, puts the game-tying run in scoring position. Yarnell having an excellent NCAA tournament to this point. 4 for 13 with a pair of ribbies.
Let's see how closed off Yarnell's stance is. Something that she's worked on, trying to allow herself to be in her legs more and feel her legs. Stands a little bit more up, but really closes that stance off, wants to hit the ball up the middle.
Battled through a dislocated kneecap last year. Primarily was the first bat off the bench because simply she could not move the way she naturally does. Opted for surgery in June and worked like heck to get back to full strength for this team. And boy, has she played a major role in the Knight's second trip to a super regional in program history.
It's been her breakout year as a sophomore. Completely different hitter than she was a season ago. Of course, to your point, battling that injury, was used primarily as a pinch hitter. So this is her first year starting.
Nobody out, runner at second. Fouls off the payoff.
It's a good spot by Tinsley, up and on the hands. See if she goes change up here, high and tight. Sets up low and slow.
You mentioned Yarnell and her stance, a little bit more upright this year. Feels like she can get to any ball. Started tinkering with it in the preseason. First at bat of the year, hit a grand slam and decided, you know what, I'm going to stick with the upright stance. Works an 8-pitch at bat, pops it up in the infield, and it's caught for the first out of the inning. Gets away from Ramirez and wisely moving up to third without a throw, Evans. And now the game-tying run just 60 feet away with one down in the fourth.
That's just a pass ball. Ramirez, of course, a lefty catcher, just didn't get her glove there.
Now a fly ball probably scores Evans if it's deep enough from Damon. Knights batting .300 in the tournament with runners in scoring position. Damon has driven in 5 runs. Lines this foul down the left field line. Hits in 7 of her last 8 games. Having a monster May in her sophomore year. Good block by Ramirez. Damon from Edmond, Oklahoma, grew up going to the Women's College World Series as a little girl. Chops it back to Tinsley, looks Evans back to third, second out of the inning.
That drop ball on the inside part of the plate. We've seen now 4 comebackers back to the senior in the circle. Very confident going in tight to those right-handed hitters for UCF.
Well, a big situation here for UCF. Middle innings, Cindy Ball Malone talking with Izzy Murdez, runner at third base. can tie the game with one swing on a night when it just feels like runs are going to come at a premium for both teams. Mertes this year has hit .320 with runners in scoring position. Takes the ball upstairs.
Without a doubt, this is their strongest bat. It has the most pop. Home runs. One of those sophomores had a breakout year. Got experience a season ago as freshmen, now sophomores did in the NCAA tournament, and playing spoiler last weekend. And found themselves maybe a little bit ahead of schedule with how young this team is.
And another one of those players for UCF from the state of California. In fact, she played travel ball with lefty Ramirez. Catching Taylor Tinsley tonight. 2-1. Line right into the middle of Garcia. And Tinsley keeps the game-tying run at third base.
Well, UCF finally gets a runner on base against Taylor Tinsley, but the defense right behind her, you can see the emotion from the senior getting out of a jam. Senior's gonna go the distance for UCLA.
There's only been one run scored in this game so far. It came in a leadoff solo bomb by the freshman Bri Alejandre in the second inning. And with that swing, tied the Big Ten single-season freshman home run record with Sierra Romero and Taryn Kern. We're now joined by our head coach, Kelly I. Coach, we just heard you say, oh, that's awesome. Everybody on your team is breaking records. Let's talk about Bri in particular, though.
Oh, I mean, you know what the best thing? I was talking to her before the game, and she's actually kind of really paired up with Jordan Foolery. And I just literally thank Joe because, you know, she's taken on and she's been mentoring her, and they're roommates on the road. And, you know, there's something to be said about being able to surround yourself with elite players so that you can kind of level up your game. And I really think that's a big part of why Bri is thriving this year.
And, Coach, you're senior All-American in the circle. Giving up her first hit, what adjustments are you looking for her to go through this lineup second time?
I mean, we know one thing. They're scrappy, they're strong, they have all parts of the game. So, you know, I said don't overthink it too much. It's more about what you are versus really overthinking, you know, any of that. I just want her to deliver great pitches. It's lefty and my job to be able to find different ways to approach it. But for her, I love how she competes, and I love how she's attacking the strike zone.
Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Well, now, Coach Inoue Perez's team will try to get another run on the board for Taylor Tinsley. Bri Alejandre will lead off the inning, followed by Kanaya Bragg and Alexis Ramirez. We came into this Super Regional expecting runs, and instead we've had a bit of a pitcher's duel between Ava Stewie and Taylor Tinsley.
Would not have guessed that.
This is just the second appearance in an NCAA tournament game in Ava Stewie's young career.
There's nothing against Stewie and Tinsley. It's just the numbers are what the numbers are on both sides for UCLA and UCF having career years offensively. Look, I'm not complaining. I will sit here for a pitcher's duel all day, every day.
Well, it's just so interesting, Kenzie, because Ava's only other NCAA tournament start was a run rule victory against Stetson. Following week, you got UCLA. Welcome to the show.
I would love to be a pitcher in this bullpen for UCF, just because you just never know when your moment is going to be called.
They used 3 different arms in the Game 7 victory of regionals against FSU. Third free pass issued tonight by Ava Stewie.
There's constantly been movement in the bullpen for UCF. We have a pretty good vantage point, and there's been a lot of action since really the second inning. The deep staff and Coach Cindy Baum-Malone will use every arm she has. But right now, 1-0. Stewie's held UCLA in check. It's really just been the one miss to Alejandre, who we just saw walk, and then the 3 passes. That's been it.
Another visit to the rubber here by Beth Damon after 5 consecutive balls out of the zone by Stewie, who has fallen behind against the last 5 Bruin batters.
There's the ace of the staff, Isa Vega.
Oh, that caught a piece of Bragg. So back-to-back free passes to open the 4th for Ava Stewie, and a pair aboard with nobody down for UCLA.
That's really tough because Stewie was working that ball down. She had 7 ground ball outs, and you and I were talking about, of course, the home run hitters for UCLA, how important it is to keep this team in the ballpark. If you're going to have hits be off of their bats, I want them in the dirt, and Stewie was given that, but you can't defend the free passes.
Now Cindy Baum-Malone is going to make a change in the circle. Excellent start for Ava Stewie. Turns the ball over with 2 on and nobody out in the 4th. We will step aside. Game 1 of the Supers. It's a good one in LA. Stewie, really solid start for the true freshman. Second appearance in an NCAA tournament game. 3 innings, 3 walks, 2 hits, 1 earned run. Is responsible for the 2 runners on, with nobody out in the 4th as she passes the ball to the Knights ace, Isa Vega, who did not begin the year as the ace, but with injury has stepped into that role and done so excellently this year, Kenzie.
Yeah, she has blossomed into the face of the program, and the redshirt sophomore comes in a tough spot. her first Supers experience. And she's going to throw in the low 60s, and it's going to be all about the rise ball. And so you think about the matchup, and I'm sure that's a huge part of the change because you're going from Stewie, who is all drop ball down in the zone, to Vega, who is upstairs with that rise ball. Key is also that changeup to counter that upspin.
She was huge in Game 6 of the regional. Won a complete game, gave up just 2 earned runs against FSU, and allowed UCF to get to Game 7 with a fresh staff. That's why they made it to this point. In a 1-run game in Game 1 of the Supers against UCLA, and now Alexis Ramirez with a chance to do damage, drops down a bunt, backhanded by Vega. And who would have thought Ramirez, who's hitting over 400 with runners in scoring position, would drop down a sac bunt, but moves both runners into scoring position.
I love it. Old school softball, and it's what a pitcher's duel calls for. A pitcher's duel calls for you get them on, you get them over, and then you find a clutch piece.
Infield drawn in. Sujin Berry put it on the ground in her last at bat. You would think if it stays in the infield, it's coming home. In the air, foul territory, will get out of play.
Yeah, that was a swing for the grass, and that's what you would want early in the count. Just get your swing off, see if you can find something, whether it's a sacrifice fly, something in the gap.
Oh, 2. Sujin starting in her 9th consecutive game after primarily coming off the bench for most of the year. Led the Bruins during regional play with a .667 batting average. Can she be the one to break it open in the 4th? Chopper, right side, only play at first. They almost didn't even get Berry. Humphreys really wanted to come home, didn't have time, and Berry makes it a 2-0 game.
Yeah, even though Humphreys was playing a couple of steps in the base path, it's too slow a developing play for her. I mean, she would have almost had to have had a running start to have a chance. You can see the break at third from Alejandre. I think she got this ball out. She almost had that little hesitation, and that would have been real bad. Run scores and you don't get the out, but just one of those things where it was taking her to her left, ball was slow. That's unfortunate for Vega because you want that ground ball all day off the end of the bat.
Ramsey Suarez will come in to pinch hit for Jolena Lamar in the 9 spot. Missed all of last year due to an injury. One of the homegrown players for UCLA from the state of California. Offered at the first pitch. Seeking her first hit since May 8th in the Big Ten tournament. Offered again.
I'm just unsure on that rise ball. She didn't agree with the call, but it's a check swing, back to back. That's a good call.
Jim Bertuzzi all over it at first base. Vega 1 strike away here. Bragg at third, 2-0 lead for UCLA. Bruins all tournament have created major damage with runners in scoring position. Hit nearly 480 during the regional with wrist.
Vega has shown Suarez nothing but rise ball in the hands. If you don't have a changeup, you just need to stay there. I would show her change low and away, make sure it's not a strike. But if you're not confident in that off-speed pitch, well, you need to stay right there and see if Suarez can get herself out, because a lot of these cuts are just unsure swings. You can tell that Suarez is not comfortable against the rise ball from Vega, and you feel that as a pitcher. Just puts a lot of pressure on you. The more this at-bat continues, cannot miss your spot.
Another 2-2. Outside, and after Vega was ahead 0-2, it is now full to Ramsey Suarez. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Suarez down the left field line, fair ball. It drives in, Bragg, and it's a double for Suarez. 3-0 Bruins.
Coming off the bench is so hard to do, especially when the other team is making the moves in the circles. You got to get the quick scouting report. Okay, what does she throw? Rise ball, and you could tell Suarez was hunting a rise ball in that at-bat. In that at-bat, she saw a lot of check swings, but Vega just a little bit too low, and just enough, a couple of inches fair.
Not often you see a pinch hitter with 34 runs batted in on the year, but that is what Ramsey Suarez has done for this team all season, coming up with clutch hits. That was her first since May 8th. And now Jelena Lamar re-enters the game at second base. And ball one to Riley Slimp. Third time through the order now for UCLA.
Now it does not get any easier for Vega. You have to have short-term memory, but that's so tough to lose that at bat. Not only in the 9 spot, but 2 outs. You are ahead 0-2, especially a pinch hitter. As a pitcher, you gotta turn it on a little bit. You see that pinch hitter, okay, I'm gonna attack right here and not let you beat me.
Behind to Slimp. UCLA has already plated 2 in the inning. And now a 3-0 count to the Bruins leadoff with Megan Grant, the NCAA single season home run record holder, awaiting on deck. You swinging here on a 3-1 if you're Slimp?
Yes. 2 outs. Her last 2 at-bats, she has seen the ball very well, even though it was out in her first at-bat. It was a line drive.
Takes the 3-1 and will pass the bat to Grant with 2 on. Every at-bat brings the chance of more history. This was her 40th home run of the season, a grand slam in Game 7 of the regional against South Carolina. A run rule victory, the 28th of the year for the Bruins. And now Grant 1 swing away from tying Stacey Newman's all-time career home run record at UCLA. Sitting on 89 career bombs. Has not seen a pitch to hit yet 10 straight balls thrown to Grant tonight.
The nation's leader in home runs is also the nation's leader in walks. And it's two things, right? She's so respected, so pitchers are being very careful with her, but she also knows her strike zone. So when the ball is entering the strike zone, look out. And when you're being mentioned with Stacey Newman, I mean, that's softball royalty, not just at UCLA, but in our sport.
An unexpected strike to Grant. And now a hitter's count at 3-1. 2 on, 2 down. Looped in for strike 2.
What a pitch. That's the pitch that Vega needs, and that's the pitch that I was kind of waiting for in the Suarez at bat. Didn't see it, but we're seeing it now.
Fell behind 3-0. 3-2 misses inside, and now the bases are loaded for the NCAA RBI leader, Jordan Woolery. Woolery with 6 career grand slams, 4 of those this year. She's batting .588 with ducks on the pond. 1-0. How you pitching Woolery here the rest of this at bat?
I'm not giving her that pitch again, that's for sure. Low and slow, and tight on the hand. See if you can get a foul ball. Use that as a strike. I'm going so tight here.
Up the middle, diving play at second base. Sierra Humphreys keeps a run or 2 off the board in the 4th.
Had to have it. Sierra Humphreys, new at second base this year, but showing off the athleticism. Bases are loaded. The nation's RBI leader is up, and this is taking away a couple of runs. Big time catch.
Thank you very much, Matt. ASU, one of 3 unseeded teams left in the tournament. UCF also unseeded. And holding it down for the unseeded teams today. Mississippi State with a comeback win against OU in Norman.
I loved watching that game just because it was so back and forth. All of the home runs, Kendall Wells popping off as she does. And you're thinking Oklahoma, okay, last at bats, here it comes. Somehow Mississippi State, big time win. Shout out to my broccoli guy who was in Norman. Spent a lot of time with broccoli guy in Eugene, so thought that the broccoli magic was continuing for the Bulldogs in Oklahoma.
Well, Taylor Tinsley's got a little bit of Bruin magic going on tonight. A one-hitter against this historic UCF offense. The best in program history. And they have been held at bay so far tonight. 2-2 to Humphreys. Towering shot to left field. And the Knights are on the board. A solo bomb to lead off the 5th.
The Cali kid, she's swinging big. 2 strikes. This pitch is in tight, and somehow she's able to get her hands in her barrel there. And the jog right away. This ball was a moonshot. And right on cue, we need to talk about this offense for UCF. Best ever for the Knights.
Mom Krista
yeah.
in attendance. Won a national title at your alma mater.
Oh, look at the emotion. Can't believe it.
She is here along with her sister, KK, who played at Oregon, now coaching at Centennial High School in Corona, and many other friends and family in attendance for Sierra Humphreys. Can that spark this historic offense?
So special for Mom Krista, who coached Cece in high school here in this state. And now she's watching her daughter hit a home run at the powerhouse, right? Especially when you're a California kid, you know what this is all about. And UCF hadn't played on the West Coast in California the last couple of years, so this team was very excited to make the trip.
2-1 to Coco Jaimez. These two programs have faced each other 8 times before. UCLA getting the best of the Knights all 8 times. This is the first time, though, they have ever met in the postseason. A strikeout for Tinsley. Second of the game, 1 down in the 5th.
When you're going up against slap hitters, those small ballers are looking to go away. So I love the fact that the senior is fearless. Look at the location of this pitch in tight. And Jaimez, she can't really do anything with that. If she gets her barrel there, it's either going to Jordan Woolery with that weak contact because she's jammed, or it's a foul ball. Just so well executed.
And the dirt ball one, Ashley Griffin. The Knights, coming into the night, had only scored 7 runs combined in the previous 8 meetings against UCLA. Never scoring more than 2 in a single game. They'll need at least 3 more tonight to take game 1.
Tinsley wanted that spot. It's a little low. Working that drop ball, that is her most improved pitch.
She has thrown all but 2 2/3 of the innings in the NCAA tournament so far for UCLA. They have ridden her all postseason to this point. And she has not shied away from it.
She's very intentional with her routine. You'll see her after every pitch turn to center field with a big breath.
70th pitch. Down the right field line, and it's just out of the reach of a diving Megan Grant in foul territory. Last 13 games, she has thrown 67 2/3 of the total 76 innings. On the year, has thrown just shy of 60% of UCLA's innings. Up the middle, diving play by Garcia. Popping throw is offline. And Ashley Griffin is the third Knight to reach tonight. Well, Monday, catch some afternoon Major League Baseball on ESPN. The Yankees head to Kansas City to take on the Royals. First pitch, 3:30 Eastern. Catch it live on ESPN, and you can watch the game streaming on the ESPN app. The Knights will pinch run with Ayala Durant over at first. Game-tying run coming to the plate here in the form of Zoe Calvez. Heavy small ball at the bottom of this UCF lineup with Calvez and Ray. And inside and tight to Calvez for ball one. The last 10 Knights hitters have seen a ball from Taylor Tinsley.
And so Tinsley's been falling behind in the count and then having to work her way back, and the home run from Humphreys and then that single from Griffin, both of those hits with 2 strikes. Situational here with Calvez being that short gamer. You had just seen the infield for UCLA. They were in very tight. Side of the left field was way shifted over, and so this is just, what are we throwing, who are we feeding? Is the easier out maybe at second base with the speed of Calvez? And we talked a couple of innings ago how Taylor Tinsley has learned how to pitch to contact. This is a situation as a pitcher, I'm trying to pitch to contact. I'm trying to feed Alina Garcia or Brie Alejandre.
Only 19 infield double plays turned by UCLA this year, despite Tinsley focusing on pitching to contact. A strike to Calvez.
I feel like the bunt was there. Just could not execute. Jordan Woolery staying a couple steps around first base, so really not crunching in. Now, of course, with 2 strikes.
1-2 from Tinsley.
For one of these left-handed hitters are those triple threats where they can slap, show a drag bunt, and then also swing away. So that's really tough for a defense, how they're going to shift, how their depth is going to be, especially when it's changing pitch to pitch.
Calvez from Orlando, spent her freshman year at LSU. Only played in 7 games last year for the Tigers. Tinsley thought that was strike 3. Instead, ball 2.
That's a good pitcher's pitch. It's a good take by Calvez, knowing her strike zone.
23 pitches already in the inning for Tinsley. LSU failed to make it out of their own regional last year, and so Calvez playing in her first super in her college softball career. 2-2 count.
Everything has been down in this at bat, whether it's the backdoor curve or the drop ball. I've not seen that vintage Taylor Tinsley rise ball.
80th pitch of the night for Tinsley. In the air to center. Sends Lamar back, makes the catch, 2 gone, and Durant stays at first.
Feels good for Tinsley. Working your way through the at-bat, so many foul balls. And then you get to 2 outs, and you know where you're at in the lineup as well.
Are you going small here with Samantha Ray, who has hit nearly 400 this year? Or are you swinging away?
I would go slap or drag. Absolutely put the pressure on the defense for UCLA.
Chopper, tough play. Tinsley makes it 5th comebacker tonight. UCF did get one in the 5th on a solo bomb by Sierra Humphreys, keeping the Knights in it. Humphreys, the hometown kid, doing it in front of her family and friends. A towering shot to left. Makes it a 2-run game in Cali.
Got 2 top 10 scoring teams with us today.
Monster matchup on the biggest stage, 12:30 Eastern tomorrow on ABC. Can Texas Tech win 2 in a row and punch back-to-back tickets to the Women's College World Series? Matt Schumacher, Kenzie Fowler with you as we welcome you back to UCLA. And that beans Alina Garcia. Isa Vega back in the circle for UCF. Came in last inning to relieve Ava Stewie. Remember Texas Tech last year won 2 in a row on the road at FSU in the Super Regional. Trying to make it back-to-back in the state of Florida, and that catches Bri Alejandre. Well, the free passes starting to really mount for UCF pitching.
Well, it's one of those things where you have to try and neutralize the power for UCLA, and you can do one of two things. You can slow them down with an off speed, or you can go in really tight with something hard. The last place I want to be facing UCLA, their big home run hitters, is middle out. No, thank you. Obviously, middle in. That's a big X. We're not going anywhere there. So if we're going in, I'm going in tight, and if you miss, well, you're going in on the hands.
That is the 8th free pass of the night, 4th hit batter. Cindy Ball-Malone chatting with her ace, Isa Vega, who they've relied upon so heavily this year, has eaten up the majority of the innings for a pitching staff that has been used as a staff.
This conversation with Beth, her catcher, and of course Cindy, her head coach, it looked like it was just all about confidence. There's a lot of head nodding and positive words being exchanged back and forth, and you could kind of see Isa going, okay, I got it. Just trying to pump her up.
She has been the one to get the ball in the big moments. Over 61 innings and 14 appearances against ranked competition this year. Monster shot deep left, forget about it! Kanaya Bragg sends it deep into the LA night. And the Bruin Bombers strike again. 6-1 UCLA.
It's the younger Bruin Bombers. It's been the freshman and now the sophomore. Kanaya Bragg in the 6th spot gets a pitch, and this is where you can't miss. This is what I'm talking about. So Vega wants to go in tight. She's trying to make the adjustment. She has just hit 2 hitters in front of her on that same pitch. But unfortunately, that's in the wheelhouse.
6 runs batted in the tournament for Kanaya Bragg. Makes it a 5-run game here in the bottom of the 5th. And now if you're UCLA, you're starting to think about a run rule victory with nobody out. And the top of the order looming just 4 batters from now. One-0 count to Ramirez. Ramirez didn't even put a full swing on that. Shoots it into the middle of left field. 1 down.
The free passes will absolutely be talked about for UCF. Obviously, a lot of ball game left. We've seen this year what can happen with just 1 inning, with just 1 out. But whatever the score is, it's going to be a point of focus in that bullpen for UCF. You cannot have that many free passes.
Four of the 6 runs scored tonight by UCLA have come after walks or hit by pitch. You just can't give this team extra opportunity to do damage.
Well, you think about the last inning where UCLA scored 2 runs, it was just 1 hit. It was that pinch hit RBI double down the line by Suarez. That was it, 1 hit. 2 runs were scored because a walk and a hit by pitch, and then 2 walks after that.
Barry ahead in the count, 2-1. Ooh, did Barry go? No. According to Anthony Small. Took a long walk out of the box, was fooled by that pitch.
I swung on this pitch. I was gone. It's a great pitch, and yeah, that's a good hold.
Comes right back, smacks it deep to Humphreys. What a rocket to first, gets away. Barry thinking maybe about going to third. She will. Throw, tag, not there. Barry stands at third on a ball that barely touched the outfield grass.
Tough for UCF right now. The throw gets away, and then the backup gets by our catcher, and so the race is on. Beth Damon was right up the line where she should have been. It just got past her.
They will rule that a hit and then an error by Humphreys, and so 2 errors in the night for UCF, a team that did not commit a single error during the regional. UCLA applying pressure here with a chance to end the game. Jolena Lamar, if she can get on base, the game-winning run would come to the plate in the form of Riley Slim.
See a change, I think, right here from UCF mid-at-bat.
Issa Vega has struggled to find the zone, and when she has, the ball has gone a long way. Jolena Lamar sent the ball a long way when she hit a game-tying 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th versus Cal Baptist to erase a 4-run deficit and set up the UCLA walk-off against CBU. She will be at the plate with a 2-0 count against a fresh arm for UCF.
You can see for UCLA getting new information. Who's it going to be? What are we looking for? It's a tough scout for UCLA against UCF. 6 arms that are constantly in rotation. But for Jolena Lamar, this is a freshman that has worked her way into the lineup. And you want to think about how good this offense is for UCLA. And if you're a freshman like Alina Garcia, Brie Alejandre, and Jolena Lamar are, these are freshmen cracking the lineup.
Macy Miles, the junior from Baton Rouge, will be the one called upon here to keep UCF in this game. This is her first appearance since May 2nd at Iowa State. And she has thrown very little this year. Just 11 in a 3rd innings pitched for the junior. Not an easy spot to come in with the potential game-tying, rather game-winning run on deck. And a 2-0 count to Lamar.
See Cindy Ball Malone with the pitching coach, Shannon Sale, just talking about the strategy, talking about the matchup. Of course, Cindy Ball Malone was an amazing pitcher in her day, and it's kind of what she's known for as a coach. She's known for being that pitching-minded coach, but as a head coach, thought it was time, okay, I need a little extra work, especially in a bullpen that is so deep. I need someone else that's experienced. Shannon Sale, of course, national champion at Oklahoma, was a GA for Cindy, now promoted to pitching coach. It's kind of that 1-2 punch where we're in this together. I need you in the bullpen constantly, but I will call pitches as the head coach, but you're my right-hand woman.
No time for Miles to get comfortable, to ease into this relief appearance. Already a 3-0 count to Lamar. And that's a walk to Lamar. Runners at the corners, 1 down, and the potential walk-off run coming to the plate with Riley Slim.
Well, I know it's not Megan Grant or Jordan Woolery, but Riley Slim has had great at-bats. Has hit the ball very sharply twice, drew a walk, seen a lot of pitches. This is a hitter that kind of asked for the pressure, right, in her sophomore year. Going through it all last year, and you know what? I think I want to be leadoff. Give me the heat.
I want all the smoke.
Absolutely. Let me bat in front of Megan Grant.
Such a big responsibility to set the table for Megan Grant, Jordan Woolery, and the rest of this historic offense. And she's done so with excellent execution, batting .432 this year, leading the nation with 93 runs scored. Nowhere for Miles to put her. Already 9 free passes tonight. There's a strike.
It's been nothing but changeup from Miles. Every pitch has been an off-speed. Hitters count. Sit it right here on this pitch.
Slim sends it to right field and ends game 1 with a walk-off bomb. Good night.
Well, she sat on it. Got herself into a hitter's count, had seen nothing but changeups. And this was a swing that almost looked like batting practice. Look at that big leg kick, sees it so big, and it's in front of her. That's got to feel so good. And Matt, it's so impressive. We're talking about 2 seniors, Jordan Woolery, Megan Grant, all the headlines. The 3 big hits for UCLA tonight came from underclassmen, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. Swinging so big. And this is so huge for UCLA to save the arm of Taylor Tinsley. We know we are going to see the All-American senior for UCLA tomorrow in the circle. It's not a secret. Everyone knows it. So the fact that UCLA had the urgency with 2 runners on there to say we are going to end this game because we can and we need to if we want to go the distance, get out of this stupor and make it to OKC. So big.
29th run rule victory this year for UCLA, the most in program history. And now the Bruins are yet again 1 game away from a return trip to the college softball mecca, the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. We will step aside, and when we return to wrap things up, we'll chat with Riley Slim.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to UCLA. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. Riley Slimp in the 5th with 2 on. See you later. 29th run rule victory of the season for UCLA. Slimp walks it off for the Bruins, taking game 1 of the NCAA Super Regional against UCF. We're now joined by Riley.
Hello.
And her teammates and all your gloves and all your How are you holding all of that right now?
I don't know. I don't even know it's on me right now.
We're going to get a picture. We'll send it to you later.
Okay,
Riley, take us through that at bat. You saw nothing but off speed,
yes.
And you knew what was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do a lot of preparation for these moments, so just shout out to all the coaches for having us prepared. And I think, I was prepared, honestly. That's all I could say.
Riley, tell us about your journey. Coach Inouye Perez said that you came to her and said, I want to be your leadoff. I want to bat in front of Megan and Jordan. Was that a conversation that you had? And then, of course, why did you want that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always been the dream, and just, I don't know, there's just so many great bats behind me. Like, I think being leadoff is so freeing because I know, like, all I have to do really is get on base, and I'm gonna be a run for the team. So I think that's really awesome.
Riley, we've talked about Taylor in the circle and how she's been a workhorse for you all season long. And Megan said yesterday how you guys are so motivated for her.
Yeah.
Was that a conversation in the dugout? Like, we need to end this right here for Taylor.
Yes, I mean, Tins has been working her butt off every single game for us, and I think just that's our goal as an offense, is to make her life easier, honestly. So I think that's all we're trying to do.
Riley, this team was so close to being upset in game 1 of the NCAA tournament, and since then, you guys have been on an offensive tear. Was that a spark for this team?
No, I mean, I think we have the same mindset going into every game, no matter the opponent. So I think, we're just here to work and, just take the win, I think.
All right, we're going to let you go. Rest. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Balancing the butter on the bat and everything. She's doing it all.
A woman of many talents. Riley Slimp walks it off for UCLA. The Bruins take game 1 in run rule fashion. What a night in LA. The Bruin Bombers are 1 game away from a return trip to the Women's College World Series. For Kenzie Fowler, our entire crew, Matt Schumacher saying good night from UCLA.